I'm Caroline.
And I'm Rachel.
This is our project about
Thomas Jefferson and Alexander Hamilton's conflict and compromise.
Good day, I'm Alexander Hamilton.
How do you do? I'm Thomas Jefferson.
I prefer a strong central government.
I prefer strong state government.
It's hard to believe that such smart and professional men like us got into a conflict.
Our conflict, then compromise, did help shape America.
That it did.
The year was 1757. The world didn't know it yet, but a brilliant mind was about to be born on the small island of Nevis. This man was Alexander Hamilton.
My mother is dead. My father's gone. I can't be trapped on this tiny island. I mean, I have so many ideas and so many things I want to say. I want to fight.
And fight he did.
When Hamilton was just 15, he left his small Caribbean island and went to New York to study at King's College when the Revolutionary War was just beginning. He gained popularity by going from artillery unit to artillery unit captain to George Washington's right-hand man to the first Secretary of Treasury. During all that gaining of popularity, he met a man that didn't agree with most of his beliefs. This man was
Thomas Jefferson. I was born and raised on a large farm in Virginia with beautiful hills and very little state debt, unlike the state of New York, which...
Hold on, Tommy. We'll get to that later.
As I was saying, during the outcry of war, I served on Virginia's legislature and the Continental Congress.
Why are you explaining a war that you didn't even fight in?
All right, so I didn't fight. But I was leading my country along the way.
Ahem, in France.
Jeez. Let's get back on track and tell this fine audience about our political dispute.
You mean the fact that we disagree on every level?
Yes, except for our hate for that scoundrel Aaron Burr.
Ugh, Aaron Burr, don't even get me started on him.
No, I don't want to get you started.
I swear, we went to the same law school, and then we were the same, but then I was better, but then he tried to catch me, but I was still better at him and everything. And then he shot and killed me.
I knew this would happen. Can we get back to telling everyone what an amazing person I am?
Oh, fine, continue.
Did you know that I wrote the Declaration of Independence?
Yes.
Made the Louisiana Purchase? Sent Lewis and Clark on their expedition?
I did.
And founded the University of Virginia?
Are you done yet?
One moment. Let's not forget, I was the third president of the United States. And you were bragging about being the first Secretary of Treasury. I was the first Secretary of State.
Well, I've done stuff too. Let's not forget who wrote 51 of the Federalist Papers, founded the Coast Guard, and...
Okay, let's pick up the pace. We have a lot more to get through.
What do you mean a lot more to get through? What is this, a life story?
Actually, yes, I suppose it is.
What's with you and being such a control freak? I mean, you controlled James Madison for most of your life, and now you're controlling our conversation with these nice individuals?
I am not a control freak. I just get what I want, when I want it.
Oh yeah, you're totally not a control freak.
Ugh.
And what's with your idea about that silly state government idea? I do not understand that.
My ideas are silly? Have you people heard his idea for a strong central government?
Here we go again.
This man goes on and on about how he wants to fight the British and how he hates how controlling the British are, but he wants a government just like theirs.
What?
You think there should be one leader, like King George III. Your idea of government would oppress the population with its basically unlimited power.
King George was not the best leader, but I want a giant booming government to run our country as if it was the capital of the world.
Boo! I have been to France and back. And trust me when I say that my idea of a small, agriculture-based country is the best type of country there can be. If we have a giant, booming country like you had mentioned, we would have a bunch of people in one dirty, crime-ridden area you call a city.
Well, Jeff, we all believe different things.
Whatever.
At least my ideas aren't stupid. Oh my gosh, where is your off switch?
All the way down in Virginia, along with all of its non-existent debts that we paid off a long time ago. Your northern states are coated in debt, and your financial plan is set to have the government assume the state's debts. Why should Virginia pay off the northern war debts?
At least I'm looking out for the government. My plan would actually help the government, but you're too busy focusing on your southern pride to realize that. And the only reason that all of your debts are paid off is because all the slaves you have serving you.
For the record, I am completely against slavery. I inherited my slaves, and I treated them like my friends. I mean, I didn't mistreat them like other slave owners.
Just Thomas. I'm not in the mood for your pity party right now.
Whatever. I won't be the complainer, and I'll stop talking.
Okay, thank you.
And another thing, I am so sick and tired of working all the way up in New York. It's such a long ride up there, and the horses start to get awfully tired. I want to work closer to home.
Whatever.
Thomas Jefferson and Alexander Hamilton disagreed like this for a very long time. It wasn't until the year of 1790 that they were tired of it. Jefferson held a dinner where him and James Madison talked with Hamilton about a compromise.
This historic day was dubbed the Compromise of 1790 because of the decision that was made. Ahead of time, Jefferson and Hamilton agreed to keep an open mind and to discuss so they do not fight while they talk. I'll let them tell you the rest.
Good evening, Alexander.
How do you do, Thomas?
Shall we?
Let's begin.
We both know what we want. I want to work closer to home.
And I would like the financial plan to be set in place.
Think about it 100 years from now. If we were to place the capital in Virginia, we would have a large tourist attraction city, and we would both get what we want.
Yes, but you're leaving out one thing. I would like my financial plan to be set in place.
I completely understand, Hamilton. I say we come to a compromise of you get your financial plan and large decision-making capital, but the capital is located in the South.
Okay, that's not an awful idea. I mean,
So, deal?
fine, deal. And just like that, the both of us worked out our conflict.
Well, I wouldn't say that. But we mostly stayed neutral on each other's ideas for the next decade. It wasn't until the election of 1800 that you actually gave me any support.
Fair enough. If you guys didn't know, that election was pretty interesting.
That's quite an understatement. I ran for president with Hamilton's other arch nemesis, Aaron Burr, as my VP. However, there was no law in our Constitution distinguishing the electors' votes between VP and president.
That meant that Burr and Jefferson were tied with 73 votes each, and the election was now in the House's hands, which was run by my party at the time. And as much as I've disagreed and fought with Jefferson, I just cannot stand Aaron Burr.
We know! He dodged the bullet there. So he basically persuaded his party to make me the president and vote for yours truly.
And it essentially stabbed me in the back when Aaron Burr decided to kill me for it.
Sure, but look at the legacy we've left.
I beg your pardon?
I mean, look at this, Alexander. It's been more than 200 years after your death, and people are still arguing about your ideas, talking about your life, and discussing how much we fought. I mean, come on, there's a musical about your life.
I guess that's true. I mean, as much as we've fought, America still has a two-party system that disagrees just as we once did.
A year after the two men sat down, they drew up a map. It showed where the new capital was going to go.
This is a copy of what the two men did. Right now it looks blurry, and you can't even really read it, but it's not stupid at all. This map decided something huge. Washington, D.C. is the capital of our nation. Might be all the way up in New York if these men hadn't talked out their differences.
Thomas Jefferson said these words in his first inaugural address. Fellow citizens, a wise and frugal government, which shall restrain men from injuring one another, shall leave them otherwise free to regulate their own pursuits of industry and improvement, and shall not take from the mouth of labor the bread it is earned. This is the sum of good government, and shall not take from and is necessary to close the circle of our felicities.
Alexander Hamilton said these words, "And framing government, which is to be administered by men over men. The great difficulty lies in this. You must first enable the government to control the governed, and in the next place, oblige it to control itself. If this conflict
And compromise,
hadn't have happened,
our country would not be the same.
these men left a legacy that could not be replaced.
Even if we tried to recreate our country, we wouldn't be able to because of these men.
Their conflict and compromise shaped and changed America." Thank you.